Hey world builders, welcome back to Build Together. This is day 151. Today's prompt is, what's a celebration of national pride for a country in your world? I created a document under the Kingdom of Helva's folder, my country's folder, called the Day of Rest. The Day of Rest is a yearly occurrence on the 11th of Tolothan ever since the year 847, so it's been a few centuries now that this has been done every year. It's a big celebration that revolves around the Kingdom of Helva's inception after the Maid of War. There is a lot of feasting. The House of Commerce actually sets aside a budget stipend to pay Helvan farmers to store up a certain amount of hajik if it's in their crop rotation. And depending on how far away that farmer lives from their local town or village, they will leave the night before or the morning of the 11th, and they will cart a bunch of hajik in town, and it will contribute to this really large communal feast that occurs. Usually the majority of the hajik actually goes towards a traditional Helvan food called gazdash, which is really just kind of like any animal meat with hajik that has been kind of stewed together, usually in a broth that's made from boiling the bones of the animal whose meat is incorporated anyway. And most often this is the hakar animals, which are these very large, blue-tinted fur beasts of burden. So lots of gazdash is passed around because it's easy to make and it's a traditional meal, and it's a little bit of a sort of like meal of the nation. It wasn't a thing before the Kingdom of Helva, and it goes back a little bit to when they were first around and were all kind of hungry and had to make these simple meals. Now there's games and competitions of strength and sport and things like that, and then finally the War's End pillar is burned at the end of the night. The War's End pillar is this large wooden post. It has something called an inverted circle carved into it, which when activated or when conducted, made it work through it, will actually basically self-immolates, sets itself on fire and burns, and everyone sort of watches. And additionally, it's kind of garnered a new meaning over time. After the first few years that this was happening, they realized, oh, like the leftover black charcoal pillar kind of is a grim reminder of the spear, which I did write about in a previous build together, and the real devastation that can be brought about on regular people when countries are throwing war workers and made to work, for destructive purposes around at one another. What's a celebration of national pride in a country in your world? Thanks for building together.